Do kids tune you out during the Bible lesson? Or worse, do you feel like they only endure you because they get to have snack after? Well, if you ever struggle to grab their attention, don't worry, you're not alone. But this is a very fixable problem. Today, I'm going to share 5 easy ways to make Bible stories come alive for kids. And trust me, these tips will not only keep them engaged, but also help them truly connect with God's Word. Be sure to stick around because there's more waiting for you at the end of this video. Tip number 1, use props and visuals. Kids are visual learners, so the more you can show them instead of just telling them, the better. If you're teaching about David and Goliath, bring a slingshot. I don't really actually have a slingshot, but maybe you could use this to show the location of where it happens. But if you were teaching David and Goliath, what about using a cardboard giant? Could anyone ignore that? It doesn't have to be expensive, and you can get creative with what you have. Tip 2, add drama or role-playing. Act out the story. There are 4 main ways that I've done this. First way is telling the story in first person, where you are the character. This is a simple approach and works well, you just gotta have a costume. Second is getting some adult actor helpers. They could just be some older kids that you pull in to help. Third is using kids as the characters. This works well, but you need to make sure you have control over the situation. The fourth way is what I like to use best, and that is to use puppets. They don't have to be formal puppets like this. They could even just be popsicle sticks. Then they can make any lesson fun. Tip number 3, incorporating movement and interaction. Get them moving. Movement helps kids be engaged and helps reinforce the lesson by adding physical elements. For example, when teaching about the Red Sea, you could have them part the waters with their hands. Or for Noah and the Ark, making a patter on the floor, the sound of rain, that's also really good. Adding these additional physical movements turns passive listeners into active participants. Tip number 4, use some modern comparisons. Kids relate best to stories when they see how they apply to their everyday lives. For instance, you could make a modern twist on the story of the Good Samaritan by, instead of having it as the Samaritans in Israel, you could do it as some people at the playground, some kids at the playground. Those connections can make older stories, maybe ones they've heard before, make them feel new and relevant. This can be a way to engage the kids who feel like they already know everything. And finally, tip 5, start with a question, end with an answer. Stir up the question that you'll answer later in the lesson. This is called creating a knowledge gap. You stir curiosity when you bring up a gap in someone's knowledge. We don't like gaps in our knowledge, so we'll search for something to fill that gap. When this is done right, it can be very effective, but it's a little bit harder than the other tools I mentioned. If you'd like to learn a step-by-step way of how to do this, then I have something for you. Imagine having a whole library of tools and techniques just like these and knowing exactly how to use them. If you want to take your teaching to the next level and make every lesson impactful, then check out my Children's Ministry training course. Just click on the link down in the description to learn more. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with your fellow teachers and leaders. We'll see you in the next video.